Maybe I should have just left when it was like 300. I don't know. But
Ooh. Oh, you
I
made
just,
100% and then you left.
yeah, that's stop. No, I didn't leave. That was stop loss kicking
Oh,
me out
stop loss. Oh, yeah,
actually.
you try to protect the
Yeah.
money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
will just trying to share this link in case anybody wants to join.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. That's the only trade I took actually. My new resolve is when I don't have time, I don't want to take trades anymore. But when I don't have time to sit and monitor, and I
Hmm.
don't want to take trades where the time frame is short because I won't be able to keep an eye on it. So that's why
It's
I took the cotton actually.
yeah, no, that's something I've been preaching, you want to take trade with the best risk reward. Why is that? Because that's best for your pocket, for your money, literally. So let me look at this. I'll share
Sorry.
this now. And okay, so this is the thing here. So this is cotton. Let's just look at cotton, which Diola took cotton. And of course you got to be careful. So don't just check any cotton. Got to be
Mm-hmm.
careful and check the one that applies. Was it on capital?
US cotton.
Yeah, I know it's
Yes,
on there.
capital.
I
Yeah.
mean, of course, feel free to just to minimize your search here and yeah, US cotton. And you can
Mm-hmm.
see here. Oh wow, was it a short, right?
No, I didn't take a shot. You need to use a longer time frame. I think you're on
Oh, you went
30
on a
minutes
long.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
No,
have a look.
I think I use daily
Oh, daily.
or
Oh,
higher or
amazing.
something. Yeah. Mm.
You would never catch me alive taking trades on a daily, but yeah, I haven't got that
Mhm.
patience to see it draw down. But this is
Mhm.
amazing, though. I
Mhm.
think we even reviewed this the other time last week. Let's
Mhm.
see.
Mhm.
Just give me a second. Let me expand it a bit. I hope people can see my screen. So this is cotton over. I mean, so if you take it on a daily, for me
Yeah.
personally, we'll try and keep these things very simple. Find a good support. Find a good resistance.
Mhm.
And this is your good night, darling. Good night. Sorry, it's mine. Okay, so again, like we always say, transports, these things, people tend to think these things are random. Yes, they could be as random, but they're not always random. They tend to respect a trend. And I think this is actually a good, this is why, people always say be patient, be patient. And this is one of the reasons why we have to be patient. So I don't know, but I don't know when you took it, but this is something here that I will say on a daily, you could keep it very simple. It's tested this level a few times, okay, respected it, he breached it, but respected it. And when we're talking about levels are range. So, definitely not a bad one here for me if you're taking it around the spot, or oopsie, or if you could also decide, okay, that's quite far out. I mean, that's what 2010, that's way too much. So, I
Mhm.
think in your case, I probably could just go, and I'm just gonna go right here, this level. Look at that. That's a really good
Yeah.
level, actually, because this is a daily, but if you look at this on a lower time frame, this is heavy. This is heavy. Oh wow. You have quite a few
Mhm.
people who've been waiting for it to retest this and move. Yep.
Mhm.
And then again, now it's gone there. So you'll be waiting and hoping it tests on this level again. And this is keeping it very, very basic, very simple. So on this level again, it moved. And no, I think it's actually very good. So for me, so one thing I'll be looking, remember last week we talked about gaps. This is a
Yeah.
gap. So if you were here, I would not be holding this trade. I'll be waiting for it to come down
Yeah.
because there's a gap
Yeah.
right here. And it's come down, which
Yeah.
means it's automatically filled this gap. So now, but on the way
Mhm.
down, so one thing you should do, try and minimize it or reduce the time frame, 2 hours maybe, and see.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's a gap here. So at some point we expect it to come down. But on the way up, so which is why you need to use stop loss just to protect what you have. But on the way up, do we have any gap? I can't see any gap per se. So, I'm just going to be hoping the next, exit will be here. Well, not exit, but target points here. And then, gradually just moving it. And that's it. So for me, so sometimes some of these trades, I don't even put a target point. I'm just pushing stop loss up. Does that make sense? If you're going to keep going to heaven, keep going. I'm just going to keep pushing stop loss up. But that's a good one. So yeah. But that's the only one you took this week.
Yeah, just that.
Okay. This natural gas that I mentioned here today, again, this is, oh, look at that. This just, I think I did it on the 30 minutes. It's very important. So I need to be giving you guys time frame when I'm, when I'm making my calls, just in case, or if we make calls, not just me. So this was here. I just realized it couldn't breach this low. You see that? So it's here. It's tested it a few times. It's just, this is like a textbook, really. This is the points where the pain, this is the points of pain. You think you get shaken out, you get shaken out, but nobody got shaken out. And I was just hoping if it bounces off this level, that's it. But again, that's why I put a small amount. I was just looking at this little level here. So I wasn't looking that far up. I was looking from this point to this point in terms of my exits. And that's it. I went out and I came back. And the minute I saw this, that's when I'm like, oh, I said it was on a tier because look at this huge, candle right here. It just went on a tier. But if you look at this one here, this is a huge, manipulation, and they came to break it. And then another one here, right here, they defeated it halfway. So no matter what, if you're holding this, you got to expect this manipulation to be beaten halfway down. Remember, we say when there's a huge long candle, that's just a manipulation. Expect them to close it because now they've left themselves exposed. Can you see that? There's exposure here. There's exposure here. There's exposure here. So, if you're holding it, just make sure there's a stop loss to protect your profit. So that was the one I put in today. The other one I shared with the group a few days ago was GBP USD. And this one right here is just a very, very, clinical one. Why I never held it, I don't know. If you look at it, this is when, oh, see, I even made my notes. I think I put this in the group as well. I don't know, I thought I'd clear the notes. Okay, I'm going to do it on a weekly, so it makes more sense. I'm going to clear the notes because I put the notes in the group before. So right here, what happened was, if you remember, I called this a while back and we all waited and waited and waited. Yeah? Do you remember? Or you don't?
Yeah.
We call this and I think we're right here and it hits. And we got shaken out. I was going to say shook out. We got shaken out here. It was 1.06 or something. That was my entry. I remember very well. And then it came here. This is literally all-time low. This is not a stock where you say you're bottom fishing. So you either, if you're going to get in here, where's the annotator? This is something that we did. If you're going to get in here, we got in here, but we got shaken out here and we left, or I left it eventually. But I think John held it and, he profited eventually as well. But what I'm saying is, if it's a stock, then that's dangerous. But this is a Forex. And for this thing to keep going down forever, you would expect, because we're trading, no, this is not the one I'm talking about. Apologize. It's GBP CHF. Sorry. Give me a minute. This is the one. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see? Similar. Exact same things. There you go. 1.06, which I entered. So, and I was saying, for you to be, if it was a stock, I wouldn't advise getting in because, that means there's a problem. But because this is this is Forex, and with Forex, you would expect, of course, the technical play has to be good, but here you would expect Switzerland to be wiped off the map for this to keep crashing, or you would expect UK to be wiped off the map. And these are two great countries. I don't expect that. I mean, this is EU, EU and you would expect something to happen straight away. This is all the time UK was having their whole election turmoil. Rishi Sunak and this, and the Liz Truss was there 44 days, and then and I was saying eventually this is a classic textbook trade. If we're patient enough, if at all, holding it up to this point, that's one, and then I think I said I was going to 1.16 eventually. So let me see, but so I'm looking at, look at that. So I'm actually looking right here, 1.6. Yeah, I'm actually looking at my exits around this point here, a little bit above, just right here. I'm looking at testing this level, well, a little bit below it. And this is where I'm looking at. But again, I said I was going to make an entry. I made an entry with a small amount, but I haven't got enough patience. I'm not waiting to hit home run, but and one more thing. So I went back in just yesterday because I think it was Kamal that called it saying, I thought you said, price target was 1.6. So one thing about this thing here is that I'm going to call something today, and you see what happened today. UK has been at record inflation for how long? Yeah. And guess what happened this morning? We expected. So inflation was announced today. And guess what happened? It crashed. And can you see that? It recovered immediately. Okay. It recovered. So the market is expecting the worst. Okay. And can you see? We're getting higher highs. So that kind of gave me the boldness, the confidence to just stay in, in the CHF. So that's the only one I'm in right now. But like I said, it's just a small amount. Watching it ride. But again, I'm protecting my profits. Just and if it rides, it rides. But again, I'm probably just gonna get bored and get out. But that's it for me. So this point, you can see the trend. It's been, I tend to play on 30 minutes. It's been very weak, but look, it's changed now. Can you see that? Even here, it's changed. So I think it's trending up gently. And then we just, we want to get rid of this island and then just come and play level game here. That's what I think. So remember, when we're talking about recession, which everyone has been screaming about, it will be over before anybody even notices there's a recession. So guys, let's not get carried away, or let's not get despondent about, oh no, the economy is in tatters. The markets is not the economy. Very, very important. So, and the last one I mentioned was sugar, which I think some people do not realize you could actually trade sugar, but there you go. So I was looking at this. Oh, the short is plain, isn't it? Yeah. So one thing as well, guys, when the stock is going up, you have to understand these things do get tired. They do get tired. So this is one here. Okay. So this might, going back August, I'm not going back too far, but this is the highs. This is the high. This is the high. And I was just waiting on this sugar to break this high, but it tested it and it came down. If you minimize the levels, then you can realize that it tested it, came back. It actually went, but it wasn't even strong enough. And I just thought, that's it. It's coming down. So this was the sugar shorts that I called earlier today, and that was it. Finally, Vodafone. Yeah, this was I call this one as well. Look at this one here. It wasn't this one. Vodafone. Let's get rid of these things. All sources. I call this on LSE. There you go. So why did I call this again? I call this on an hourly. Remember what I mentioned earlier? On the way down. Yeah. So normally I didn't call this as an investment. This right here, can you see the gap on the way down? It was very brutal. And someone sent me a message saying, oh, boy, he's invested in this thing since 2017. He's never made any money. And I said, well, fine, I understand that. You've not made any money. And if you look at this actually, which is, when people say buy the dip, sometimes this is what makes it scary, because look at this guys who bought here. And then look at these guys here. Some of these guys bought this deep, and they're now here. Again, let me look at it. This guy bought a deep, but they're now here. This guy bought a deep, but they're now here. Okay. And again, equally, we bought a deep, but again, we just trading. I'm not doing it long time, even though they got good dividend. But again, I'm not really too bothered about their dividend. I'm just looking to see what, I'm here for a good time. But look at this gap here. Remember, not all gaps get covered. So for me, and remember what I mentioned earlier on. Let me show you again. Can you see this here? Look at this long one here. Okay, they want to have to. This always gets covered. Not all gaps get covered. This always gets covered. So again, so I'm expecting these to at least halfway, and then we get out, and that's it. So those are the calls I made, and those are my rationales for the calls. I don't know. Did anyone take Vodafone?
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. Who did? Who took Vodafone? Nobody in the group. Wow. Okay. I think I get too many. I make too many calls sometimes. Oh, did you? Okay. And how's that going so far, though?
Stagnant for now.
It's a bit stagnant. Yeah. I think it was what? No, it was 97.02, wasn't it? When I called it. Anyway, but it will move. It will move. And also today, there's not much price action today. So, but so far, I think this is my rationale in calling it anyway. And I expect this thing to move and cover this, close this gap before it eventually makes its way down. So, how do I see play? Come here, play here before he makes his way down or up. Anyway, I don't know, but let me just say, come here, and then whether it goes up or down, that's up to anyone's guess, but I expect that to happen soon. It might take a while, but there you go. Okay, Temi.
Yeah.
How did your week go generally? It's your first time now with trading, right?
My first time. Well, it's
Would
been
you-
2 weeks now. It's been a week and a half.
You get what I mean? It's your, you've
Yeah,
venturing
yeah.
into trading. How's that going so far?
So I've been experimenting on the app. So
Yeah.
I've lost some money,
Of course,
but
you
I've
will lose
also
money.
made some money. And
Okay.
in terms of loss, I'll say maybe I've lost 20%
Oh wow.
of what I put in. Yeah. So actually, at some point I had lost like maybe 60%, but I've made a bunch of it back. So I'm doing it's gambling what I'm doing really. But what I'm doing is while I'm taking some of the calls you make, like I took natural gas this evening, but there's something else I was trying, especially with something like natural gas that seems to move up rapidly, move down.
Yeah.
I kind of go both ways. So I hedge it.
Oh, so
When
you
it
hedge.
gets
Okay.
to a point on take profit, I take my profit and it starts coming back down. So I'm basically in both ways and I'm taking profits on, wherever, whichever way it chooses to go.
Yeah, I mean, so you don't want to
So I'm doing that
hedge.
with just a little money on the side, and then I keep funds aside for calls you make. So I went into Vodafone today.
So what you need to do is you need to, they say hedges are for gardens. So what you need to do is you need to understand why you are in. If at all, I know you spend quite a bit of time on the computer. If at all anything, what you need to work on is, okay, why is this call made around this point here? What can I see? Okay, or even if you're going to take like this calls you're making, you say you're hedging. Right now, I'm not going to short this, but if I'm new, I'm just seeing this chart. I'm not going to go long either because why? This is what they call a local resistance. Can you see? Top and top.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to have to force its way and push through, or it's going to play within this range again. Okay, well, when I say this range, I'm talking about this whole range. Okay, so it's either going to force through or come down, but within this range. Okay, so this range. So that's something. So for me, I would rather wait and see a little bit of down, and then it's going to push its way back up. Those are the things I will be expecting. But of course, like I said, you do not want to gamble. You don't want to gamble. It's also read it a little bit, understand why, why it's working. So, that's what I would say. And it depends on the time frame as well. That's why you need to know why you're hedging. Some people hedge, but they don't know why they need to hedge. So if if you take it at this point, then of course I'll be hedging, saying, okay, now I know it could go up or it could go down. So this is the point where I would only hedge. Do you get it? Because I know I'm at a local resistance. Okay, here
Local
or there.
resistance.
Yeah, anything here is noise. Okay, you only want to take, but here, what do you notice? It's tested it once, came back, tested it again. Okay, came back, and the more times these things get tested, then the more probability of you going up. Okay, so, and you know, if I mean, I'm not talking this a lecture, but if you look at this point, it's tested it once, went back, tested it again, even tested it and breached. Okay, so this has actually been telling you, you know what, I'm going to come down. While on the other side, it's tested it once, tested it twice, but there's no wheel right there. But here, a few times it's tested once, again, similar level. Oh, sorry. Sometimes they tend to shake people out here and move, but overall, you know, you got to look at the trend. Generally, this trend here is the same height. Okay, here it's a bit lower. It's a bit lower. Okay, so of course, can you see that? And then boom,
Yeah.
it pushed it all the way down. So these are the things you should look into. And while here, look high. Let's look at a few highs, and it's a bit higher. You know, higher. You know, swing. But here, it's not willing to push higher anymore because same height. Okay, but now it's lower. Well, so the next high is low. The next high is where? You see that? Next high is this. So it's telling you take your profit, otherwise I'll close shop. But anyway, I think those are the good reasons I made my calls. Few things I said I wanted to mention, especially for us here as well, guys. You know, I tend to say I'm not a market timer, but well, we are market timers because the markets can be timed. But especially, Harry's gone. Harry's here. Sorry, for the sake of people who, you know, who don't spend, you know, one crucial thing Diola said: if you don't really do a lot of, you know, you don't sit on your computer trading, then of course you want to be using a higher or bigger time frame. Look, on a bigger time frame right now, this is a long for me. Absolutely, it's telling me now, you know, the piling the trades. That's number one. So use bigger time frame, and once you can see, they call it follow through. Okay, that's one. So for every 4 hours, this thing has been green. There's been more buyers than sellers every 4 hours. Okay, so that's one thing you should be looking at. And then one thing is, I know people say, look at how much you can lose, of course, but also look at how much you think you can win before you take that call. So if you look at this, for example, sorry, I'm moving this mouse a lot. That's something you have to get used to. And I'm looking at this. Let me just say, I get in at this point. Look, that's 8%. You know, it's amazing. I was going to say not bad, but it's amazing in this kind of climate. That's number one. Number two, if you take this on the leverage, you know, I mean, I'm playing 500%. You can imagine what this is, which is why, of course, if it goes against you as well, I don't stay too long. But I think I said for Vodafone, I was happy to play this on a 3x leverage because I really want to let it ride. And I'm not saying we're looking at all-time highs straight away. Remember, charts will go up and down, but it will never go in a straight line. As you can see, you know, if you were invested here, someone invested, what am I saying? If you invested here, someone who bought it before you or later after you, probably, you know, got more money or profit able to come out. And if you're saying you're waiting for long, and that's it. So they will go up and down, but never in a straight line. Never in a straight line. You know, they'll fake out, and that's it. So you've got to be careful. So always pay attention. I don't know if I'm clear, Harry. Pay attention to the potential. Once you perform your analysis, for me personally, I think Vodafone will come to close this gap, which is 104. Okay. So if it's all, I'll be looking at getting at 104. That's a 7%. If I do it on a 3x leverage, that's 21%. You know, 21%, that's how much bank will give me in 21 years, because bank, or 210 years, because banks is giving 0.01. You know, the era of free money is over. So that's one thing I will be doing. Just look at how much I can make. And obviously, look how much you can lose, but look how much you can potentially make. And then just go in there. That's something you should do. I hope this makes sense, Harry. So that's number one. Number two, maybe. The final thing I was going to say is, again, I know last week we had a rally. I don't know, let's just pick Upstart, for example. We had a rally in the market. and it's, you know, after a little rally, people tend to get confused and say, oh yeah, markets are never going to come back. But one thing I said to people is that, you know, sorry, give me a second. One thing I said to people is that, you know, people, I think we all expect that after a little rally, we are going back to all-time high. No, it's not going to work that way, guys. One thing I said to someone was that, look, the market is going up, but look at this. What do you notice about this rally, guys? Okay, you can say, oh, Upstart came to 14 and then it ran to 19. Oh, see, time to just buy the dip and close the shop and forget it. What can anyone tell me about this, guys?
There are many gaps.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. There's just leaving so many gaps on the way up. Okay, someone's going to have to take care of this. Okay, it's not all gaps get closed, by the way, but there are lots of gaps. And especially what I tend to do is, okay, INS, there you go. This is one I set. So if you look here on a longer, higher time frame, and if you can still see the gap, then I'm sorry, there's a problem. Okay, look at the gap. You can see the gap. So if you just want to trade the lower time frame, you can see the gap, then, you know, I'll be wary. So if it's so, I'm not even going to put my entry here. I'll put my entry below this gap, fill in the gap, then let's go together. Does that make sense? So close this gap, then let's go together. But if you say you can take that risk, then that's fine. But just pay attention. You know, markets is just ripping. Markets is desperate for good news, yes. But if it's ripping and leaving so many gaps, don't let your money be the one that we'll use to fill the gaps for a gap fill. Okay, so, and inflation is still 7%. Okay, I don't know what Dr. Copper is saying, but I'm sure we're not on the, yeah, look, even Dr. Copper is not excited yet. But we're not exactly back to our all-time high. So you got to be careful. And then if you look at dollars as well, look, dollar rallied a little bit today. Okay, you know, that was today. Look at that, dollar rallied. Just let you know that, listen, I'm still here. Okay, and it's just, so, you know, one thing I saw about dollar as well today was, or yesterday, I saw it a bit late today though, was dollar is at a key level of support. Okay, so look at that. So that was something I saw, and I'm thinking, it's a bit dangerous. I think I was speaking to Jess earlier on today that I went to bed, because dollar literally controls everything. Okay, and look, it was at a key level of support. Okay, so I'm thinking it's either going to crash down heavily and we're going to see the mother of our rallies, or, and look, it pushed, it rejected it. Dollar is telling you, you know what, people are still scared. Okay, and that's what happened. So just be careful when you think it's time to get back into the market and start buying everything. Be careful, hold on, see, you know, a few things that we talk about. And of course, even if you're not sure, then don't do it. And feel free to ask around. Ask, you know, we're in the group for a reason. Ask and let's help each other. That's what I thought we should do tonight. So one thing I'm only doing right now, I'm only, you know, I think I mentioned it to you guys in January. I'm going to be a 2-stock man. I'm only buying just 2 positions, just 2. And I'm only investing in, what's it called? Dividend, just 2. Again, just my kids really, because I want to be a 1-stock man anyway. So just dividend. That's all I'm doing. And I think I gave you guys the dividends, the what's it called, strategy, the DCA strategy, you know, to a certain point, and then you buy. Don't just be, you know, people say, oh, just be buying. No, that's just dumb. Okay. I woke up this morning, I saw even Apple was back at 150. I'm like, wow, how did that happen? But look, everyone is taken though. This is my arrow, you know, and somebody say, oh, look at my arrow here for Apple. I'm not thinking it's going to come here, but I'm looking at around this point for Apple, if it's all. Again, it might come here, it may not, but I'm not interested in Apple no matter what it does. And this is a Tesla short, which I've been holding since August. I think you all know about it. Come on. Me guys. Okay, working now. And this is the Tesla, which I've been holding. So, you know, I just think this one's been extremely manipulated. I really expect this to come all the way here. So if Tesla break this key support, can you see this, guys? This is going to be really bad for Tesla. If it breaks this key support, there's a little bit of a gap here. And that's why I put my thing here. So sometimes there's so many strategies you can play. You can just be a gap filler. you know, and that's it. And this is, if at all, if I'm going to buy Tesla, which I don't think I will, this is the point I want to be getting in. But look, Tesla's been from the highs to where we are. It's been down by a lot. Oh God, come on. You know, Tesla's been down, look, 57% just between November and now. That's a whole lot. Tesla used to be 1 point something trillion. So nothing lasts forever. And especially the charts is just not great. So that's it for me, guys. I think I've spoken a lot, but just in case, do we have any question, or does anyone want to share anything? Wow, I've been radioing for long and nobody's going to say anything to me.
Yeah. I'm here.
Harry, especially for your sake, what we discussed, did it make sense, what I said?
Yes,
If it
it
doesn't,
did.
feel free to give me a shout. We go through it together again. Just make sure if you're gonna go in any trade, for example, oh, what am I doing? Sorry, Tesla. If I'm gonna make any trade at all, it's got to be something that has a very high risk reward, even if you don't play on leverage. For example, you know, as a stock person, if you think this one has been here for a while, this is where I thought Tesla was going to go when I was shorting it. But then, you know, for a high, you got to play high risk reward, whereby you put $1 and you make, you know, at least $2-3. Doesn't mean you're going to wait to get a whole $3, but at least you can relax and say, yeah, this is better. So, you know, and there's some stocks. There's, you know, my daughter told me a few days ago, oh, McDonald's, I should buy McDonald's stock. I'm not going to be buying McDonald's stock around. Look, this is McDonald's all-time high. I said, no, I'm not going to buy your McDonald's at this point. This is literally
I think
all-time
it's a
high.
value stock.
It's a value stock, correct? But at the same time, look at where McDonald's is. McDonald's is literally claiming all-time high. That is just, yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna save it for 15 years, okay, you're gonna make money, but still, come on, you know, patience. It's value stock, but not for me. Remember, buy great companies at a discount, not great companies at expensive prices. Okay, already right now, it's expensive, you know. So, you know, I don't know what the PE multiple is, but it's super expensive. I'm just gonna stay away from here.
Do you think Tesla is expensive right now?
Tesla is still very expensive. There's competition coming in. I don't know if you have Tesla. Like I said, I've always been screaming it. Okay, I've always been screaming I wouldn't buy Tesla, not because it's not a great company, but if you buy it at this point, I think it's fine, it's fair. It's just about 600, you know, billion. It's more than half its price, but again, and it has, you know, and we've been screaming this thing. It has to happen within this year. But you know, if I'm going to buy it, so I'm going to be waiting around this point to buy. But remember, the trick, you want to buy a company that can grow as big as Tesla, not Tesla that's going to be growing into another Tesla. Okay, so because right now everything is being decimated, so anything is cheap right now. But at the same time, you know, look at Google. This was where I put my price. Can you see that? It didn't exactly hit. It didn't exactly hit. Can you see? 82.
What number is that? 82.
Yeah, 82.4. But it came to where? 83.39. So, you know, and that's why you didn't see me put it in the group, guys. Google and Google entry point. So sometimes I try. And Meta, and this is, I think the pastor is here. You can hear me. My Meta entry was 90 initially. I had to push it down. I had 2 entries. So it came to 90 the first time. Yeah, it came to 89 even. When it came to below my price, and then I pushed it down saying, you know what, let me see if you can get, you know, the entire price again. And this one here, and this is where they had a name change. So, you know, people say, oh yeah, everybody will always use Facebook, da. The only reason, and I said something about Meta when you asked me the other time, I think, Pastor, Mr. Femi, can you hear me? I think you hear. And one thing I said was, it's gonna, you know, I said it was still gonna come down, but look at all this huge gap. Okay, it's just crazy. So, of course, I expect it to go back up. But it's, you know, you can hear me?
Yes, I couldn't get most of the conversation.
Well, you watch the replay. I'll put the replay in the group so you can watch it again. So yeah, so my entry was 90 for Meta initially, but as it was just getting cheaper, you got to be greedy. So I didn't just, want to scale in, and that's it. But
For some weird reasons, I don't have much confidence in Meta. Maybe I don't trust the owner, Mark. And I know, he has Facebook, he has Instagram, WhatsApp, but I don't know. I just feel that this Meta is not just for me.
it's not just you. So one of the reasons or the problem is, is change the name to Meta. So the company is valuing it as a as a metaverse play, no longer a social medium play, core social media. Okay, so we've got to value it, and of course you got a lot of money, but you haven't got the money for Meta. Okay, the money is for your Facebook business, and there's no vision yet. They roll out this whole headset. It wasn't taking the world by storm either. So it's just something that the world does not understand, or the market does not understand. And a lot of people are saying there's going to be great competition for Facebook or for Meta when it comes to the metaverse. Disney is going to be there, Nvidia is going to be there, all these huge corporations, and of course, Apple on one side. They're killing this company. So, but that's on the fundamental side. But on the technical side, all I can see is, I'm just looking for a support. And I think the key for me, the strongest level was at 90 right here, really right here. So my entry was there before. Where was it again? Where's my 90? But okay, it was around here. But so when it got killed a bit more, it only got killed to 89. I just got a bit greedy and I said, okay, let me set 80 as my new entry. So, but to be fair, I think honestly, I think 90 is quite decent because this is a company generating a lot of cash. But if anyone wants it, I mean, this company has a lot of money as well. So I still think this level is quite fair. If anyone is interested and wants to scale in, remember this company used to be a 1 trillion, company. So there's a 400%, in there for anybody who wants to play. But if you don't want to play, then it's all good too. But somebody kept asking me when it was at 105, or can I go in? I'm like, just be patient, be patient, be patient. I set in 90, and again, even Disney as well. I think I set an 87 or something for Disney, and then I had to move it back, move it down a little bit. He almost hit. Okay, it was 87 I set, and then look, he came below it a little bit, and then I got greedy as well. When it hits below it, and then I pushed it back down, at 80. But so overall, guys, we haven't done too bad. This is a company I really like, but I didn't want to get in because, it's a 171 billion, which is not bad. It's safe, but they had a dividend and they took it out. I'm like, what? I don't care about you. But again, I'm not buying any company. I'm only buying 2 companies. And I think I shared them. Sorry, I'm going to let us go now. This one, a lot of people don't really know about it, and I keep sharing you the progress. I've only got a small amount of money there. I think it's really, really good. It's a steel manufacturing. And what did they do? They got, I think they got bombed during the whole Russia-Ukraine war, but now they said operations started again, and it just started picking up again. So it's one I really like. Remember what I was talking about, huge upside potential. Look, so if you're gonna, let's just say you get in here and you just want to get out here, or let's get out to local resistance here, 70%, that's quite a lot. Let me just say, okay, I want to get out here. Okay, that's about 37%, 40%. It's not too bad for me. And I'm not looking at all-time high. Okay, just get out here. It's been there a few times, and that's still very low because these are 2012 prices. Okay, so I'm just thinking, if I'm able to get out here, that's it for me. 70%, it's not a bad price. Plus, why? Look at the mega dividend they pay, 14%. So, they can afford the dividend, etc. I've kind of done my fundamentals as well into them. So that's the only one I'm buying. And as I mentioned too, I think this is the only one I bought for now. Oh yeah, and ORCC, of course, which we know. Again, but I've only got very small amounts. I'm much more of a trader, less an investor. But again, look at this gap here that we mentioned, 2020. It took 2021 to get filled. So you got to be careful, be gentle. But except if there's a manipulation always will get covered. And I think Mr. Femi asked me the other time, you wanted to jump into this. I'm like, just be patient, okay? Markets always give second chances. Look at this one here, collapse, it ran back up. So many charts are imperfect because of where we are. But you know what they say? History often rhymes, but they repeat. But if they do not repeat, sorry, history don't repeat, but they rhyme. So it's just something you would always get your chance. And if you don't get your chance, it's another one and another one and another one. Anyway, that's it for me today.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, that ORCC, I still jumped into it, but little.
Your problem, you never listen to me, and
I'm about 13% up.
I know, which is good for you. You never listen to me, and that's why I tend to sometimes.
No, I always listen, but I just what I did was just to dip I've already dipped my toe in it before I ask.
So okay, oh, so this kind of stocks, guys, you don't want to be selling. It's just if it comes down, go. I put remember the thing I put about DCA technique. So if it's down a bit, just relax, and if it comes down to that level, just buy a bit more, because they're generating the cash rich, generating cash, and can afford the dividend, and dividend is quite good. So that's just what you should do. Just be buying it a little bit. People say, "Oh, just be buying at random." No, just you've got to time this market. This market is not as random as people think. It's not as random. Okay, time it well and then buy, but don't just buy. There's so many ways to time, but I'm not going to get into that now. But okay, there's the money time. There's a level.
So it is likely to come down again.
Nothing will go up forever. So if it's all, I mean, you can see right here.
So I can sell now and buy later.
There's a few. I wouldn't. So no. Why would you want to? I mean, it's up to you really. But for me personally, I'll be looking at it breaking this level, because this dividend stocks here. So I would expect it to just move up a bit more. Okay, this is a red day today, but look, it's almost 1% up. So I think I'll just be patient and let it hit. And I wouldn't even be selling at all. I think you just be enjoying the dividend, and if it comes down, just be adding more to it. Okay. Because the dividend link I shared, guys, I think I kind of reevaluated my position, and I think I've only got $4,000 in one of my daughter's portfolio, for example, and the dividend is about $500 a year, and I think that's a lot. I'm not just targeting what pays the most dividend, but what's still cash rich, etc. And I think that's what you should be looking at. Don't just say, "Oh, it pays dividend." You buy a little, but you can get a lot for your money. I mean, if I'm getting from 4,000, if I'm getting about 25% less, I don't know what it is, but if I'm getting $500 annually from 4,000, that's a lot of money, guys. Actually, that's 25%. So or maybe less, 12.5% actually, 1.8.
And sorry to cut in. One advantage I have, I'm using cheaper, which is about 435 exchange rates, and it allows me to buy more, meaning that I will get more dividends.
Oh, exactly. So
that's what I'm doing.
That's fine.
That's what I've been doing now.
So so that's what. So two things.
There are rumors that cheaper invested in the.
Oh, they did. They did. It's not just a rumor. I'm going to share it actually, because they did.
They invested in what?
FTX. So you be careful. Be careful.
Let me move my money out quickly.
They did.
Info.
They did. So be careful with that. Actually, cheaper cash invested. Cheaper cash. Yeah, after investment from FTX, the value at $2 billion after investment for FTX. I saw the thing as well. Can you say this is even 2021? So so be careful. There's a risk there, actually.
I need to move out my money quickly.
I saw it in the thing they did with Sam Bankman-Fried as well, investments. So please be careful. But I mean, if you're gonna be changing the dollars and probably be selling out, hey, why not? But anyway, I'll be trying. Just up to you how you do it. But so be careful. But with less move around, more. Trading is more waiting, less movement. That's what we should do. But anyway, should be a 40-minute session. I think we're way over time. But any question, guys? Any question by anybody or from anybody?
Is Microsoft still going to come back down? Google and Microsoft?
Oh, do I think? Well, so you have to. Let's be clear. I don't know. I just do my best guess based on what I have, which is an edge in this market. So if you ask me, Microsoft. Oh God, after hours. So if I'm gonna do on a day again, guys, I'm just looking for. So look at this now. And this is the last one we're going to do today. I haven't actually put a time on Microsoft. So you can see Microsoft been telling you I want down. You know, patience, that's what we say, patience in the market. At this point, they pushed it up, but look, came down. So that's one thing first when it comes to Microsoft, I'm going to be looking at. So I just want to remove the drawing, sorry. So that's one thing first. And again, but also Microsoft seems to have found the bottom here, but look, it got lower, okay? And you can see the trend above is not being able to, the past since 5th October, yeah? It's not really been able to break that higher. Can you see that? So if you ask me, in my opinion, is Microsoft still going to come a bit lower? In my opinion, I will say yes. In fact, locally, which is why I tend to set an entry and then I leave those entries. Sorry, guys, I'm moving my mouse a lot because I'm like, okay, if you breach my entry by $1, I'll wait, okay, and I'll see how you perform. I don't care about getting it at the cheapest or getting at it. I just want to make sure you see this trend. You know, look at the relationships. So here you can see, well, at this point, this is a very, very strong. This is a very strong support. Okay, and I'll be looking at Microsoft breaking, so you know, this range from here to here. That's what I'll be looking at. So, but again, of course, you know, the CPI, which drives the market, etc. I know they tend to be lagging, but I'll be looking at Microsoft around this point right here. Okay, so but it came here, it's bounced. I don't care about being missing out. For me, this party never ends. There's always another one and another one and another one. Microsoft is 1.8 trillion. Definitely not for me. But you know, this company is, you know, it's going to be worth way more. I mean, based on how the company is, fundamentals anyway. So it's a great company. But if it's going to come down, I think it's this one you probably want to be buying around here, and then you be patient. Be patient. And then Google, I think with Google, I told you already, I put my entry level around here. It didn't exactly hit. Thank God I didn't just say to why you guys are here. But look, and look at what I said. I said long Google, that's my comment at this point. But it didn't exactly hit. But you know, my entry was 82.22, but it came to 83.67. So the fact that I did not get my alerts means I left it. But honestly, I'm not so bothered about Google. You know, I'm looking at the swings now, and the swings are still swinging lower. So I'll be patient. I'll be patient. Of course, here at this point, it showed it didn't want to get lower. This is a good sign. But look, they broke the structure around this point, and look, it's getting lower again. So again, so with Google, anything that's all tech, I'll be patient. Like I said again, only 2 companies generating cash, giving good dividend. I'm buying them. That's all I'm doing right now. Anything else now, I'm just playing a swing. So I'm not here to time the market. I'm here when I effectively get CPI is low, at least 5% inflation. Then I'll say, okay, let me start scaling it. Let me go and find money. Let me go and sell something precious to give me money or whatever, and then I'll start buying. That's what I think I want to do. But again, there's no harm in doing a little bit of buying now. If it's a company that's generating cash, buy a little bit, wait. Buy a little bit, wait. You know, market's going to go up and down. One thing you need to understand is that, you know, when I think, for example, when somebody asks me, what's that company that went really down? Meta. I'm like, he said, oh, BK, I'm so struggling. Meta went down really. I say, yeah, but I don't think they're gonna come out. They're not going out of business anytime soon. So why are you scared? So that's what you need to understand. They're not going out of business. So, you know, just relax and play, you know, be patient with your trades. Very, very important, guys. Time is the only thing we have, and the edge and the fact that we have a community we can share with each other, that's the only thing we have. And you know, let's make that our advantage, guys. Okay, otherwise we're gonna struggle, and we're gonna be like the other guys who, you know, don't know what they're doing. We don't want to be gamblers. Okay, we want to make sure before any trade you've checked, why is this guy selling it to me? It's going to be a dummy because I think it's going to go up. Otherwise, if you think it's going to go down, then so just make sure you have your wits with you. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Binga. If you don't mind, maybe like 30 seconds. When it comes to the stock market, I think maybe the next 2-3 months, 4 months or something might look positive. But again, because we've all been there where we got carried away, and then you don't get carried away buying everything, like you said. So you might just want to wait, buy a bit and wait, buy a bit and wait, because things haven't really changed on macro level.
There you go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm still so bearish about the economy as a whole.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so even though the stock market is not the economy, yeah, we know, but the thing is, it's best not to just put everything in now, because 2023 might be not just a bit, a lot shaky. So you go in, you come out.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. The UK, the economy, inflation is getting worse. The pressure is getting worse. Yeah, we got record inflation. We thought it was going to come to an end, and then boom, 11%. What are you going to do with that? Or you were initially boom, 10.1%. What are you going to do with that? Boom, 10.9. What are you going to do about it? Again, now it's 11. What are you going to do about it? So it's just getting worse. So you got to be careful. Okay. Yeah. Some people are saying they're under-reporting. I think they tend to under-report sometimes. But of course, we can tell the market's desperate for some good news. It's desperate for some good news. And that's why, regardless of what reports are saying, it trends up. But hey, it might be capitulation again. But yes, you're right. Let's just be patient. This market, you say, I wish I had bought it here. Who cares? Who cares? There's always, look at this gap here, 2020. You close it in December. And this was March. So, there's always time to buy another. And even if you think about it as well, if you look at yesterday, we heard about the missile that hit, that hits Poland. But what did Biden say this morning? Oh, it wouldn't have come from Russia. Can you see that? But he didn't exactly accuse Ukraine either. Everybody just desperate. Let this thing just end. Okay. And that's it. So yes, and companies are, everyone is shelving their staffs. They're just cutting down on people. So it's a different breed this year. But again, patience. Don't be like, I wish some people missed the 2020 rally. Bottom, and they all screaming out. Oh, remember that guy in the group ages ago, Uche? I need to call him even. Oh, 2020, everything should come. The minute everything started coming down. Guess what he did? He locked out. He sold his money. He said he's enjoying his life. He cannot come and kill himself because now the market gave you the 2020 that you want, but he cannot take it. You can't stand it. He get out of the kitchen. And I mean, look at Upstart. Upstart was at 400 at some point.
Yeah.
So that's what we all say. Yeah, we want 2020, but look at this gap, and this kind of gives me a bit of a hope. Remember, like I said, not all gaps get filled. Okay. So does it mean we're going to get back to 300 level? I don't know. But look here, this is
they got in 3 years.
There you go. But they got lucky here. It ran up, and I'm saying if you shot it, this gap got filled on the way back down. But hey, the only thing is I tend to look at the local gaps literally. So if I'm going to take it here, I'm going to be thinking, okay, feel it around this point, and I'm going to get out. And that's 70. That's if I'm going to be doing long term. But I'm not going to say I'm buying it for my children because this gap up there might never get there, might never ever get there. Okay, so, and that's it. So, but again, guys, I've got to say, this is the best opportunities. The top companies in the S&P 500, they are made during the bear markets, and I'm refer it to yourself as well. You will make the best of your portfolio in this bear market. I told somebody I've lost a lot of money. Even FTX literally just crushed me, and but someone was like saying sorry. I'm like, well, I know I'm gonna triple my worth in the next 2 years. I'm not just saying as a belief, but I'm learning from it. And guys, one thing you've got to understand, especially you guys that we're in the same group, is that the market is giving you the best of opportunities to learn. It's providing you the best. This is not the time to leave this market. But then it doesn't reward suckers, and that's just the way it is. If you cry, well, cry me a river. But you know what? The people who can withstand it, they will make the best out of this thing. So, even if it's all, just go in gently and start making your life again. But hey, guys, the life is there for all of us to make, and I'm sure we can make it. So let's not get despondent and think it's the end. The world is never going to come to an end. The world comes to an end when we all die. That's just it. So, okay, guys, sorry, a bit longer than normal, than usual today, but we'll make it. In fact, we will make it. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
And I'll put a replay in the group anyway. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. And catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Have a pleasant night rest.
And you too. Have a pleasant night. Thanks. Take care. Bye.